me go ahead and get started. It's 2 minutes after 12. So I will call the meeting to order for August 18th. I have one announcement. There'll be a board meeting on August 27th at noon. I will send a reminder out this week and a reminder out next week. So just you can put it on your calendar. Okay, Cindy, you had an announcement?
Yes, I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I kind of woke up late and fussed and hurried on. So I sent out an invite today, so keep that in case I forget or get tied up. It's the same number each week. So hold on to it just in case I don't send it. I think it's the second time in 6 months that I've not made it really close. So, but it is the same number every week for the general meeting. It's a different number for the board meeting.
Yeah, it's a different one for the board meeting.
Right.
So just to be aware.
Okay.
I did send out an email for you to do that, but Dwayne has a question.
Okay, Dwayne?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., Channel 11, they're going to show the video for the Superior Court judges, and on Thursday, 2 p.m., video of the COVID-19 incident management meeting.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, good.
And numerous times during the week, they're showing older Lions Club videos that we've done in the past.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any?
It comes up automatically.
Oh, mine doesn't. Mine has one big one.
Tom, you want to talk about last week's?
What the heck?
I don't know.
Happened to you too?
Yeah.
Somebody just shared their screen that wasn't supposed
You
to.
didn't touch anything and I
I
didn't.
That would
agree.
be, looks like wood. Well, looks like Woodruff maybe.
So
Julian Woodruff's screen.
That's what it kind of looks like to me.
Ooh, exciting.
Well, it says right at the top of mine.
Yes. So,
Yeah, it's Terry's.
Bonnie, could you unshare your screen?
Yeah, I'll get out of here.
Yeah. I know it's Bonnie's fault because it says Bonnie's iPhone.
Movie adjourned.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, I see.
Better.
Let's see. Tom, do you want to talk about last week's concessions?
Okay. Well, we had another great week. Brought in about $2,300, and we had lots of people there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're cutting out.
And Lloyd is doing a good job on getting people to come and help.
That's the way ours has been. Okay, that's where it can.
But
Okay, that's what I want.
the Saturday group did the Friday group.
On Calicorn.
So if you worked last Friday, you do have to show up this Friday to try and see if you can outdo the Saturday. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. And Lloyd is taking the signups for this week, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if you want to work Friday or Saturday, get a hold of Lloyd Williams.
Oh no, he'll get a hold of you.
Well, I
He called me 3 times.
Yes, he will.
okay. Okay, Greg, anything on membership? Okay. Okay.
I think Jim Heineke's on fire.
Hey,
What?
Use pipe.
I get to smoke at a meeting.
Oh,
It's actually Eileen who, as we all know, is smoking hot.
Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah, just a couple things from the zone that we're talking about. We've got the berry sales for Kelso and Wakayakum coming up, pick them up this month. Really going good on those. I've sent information out to all the people in the what we call the Magnificent Seven about some of the events coming up. One of those events will be October 10th. We'll have our first zone meeting. And I've sent some information out with people concerning things we'd like to talk about. We'll have 3 zone meetings throughout the year, possibly a 4th one to talk about incoming officers for next year. The one thing that is really interesting right now is we've provided some of these services for Zoom to all of our clubs in the zone for their board meetings, and some of them would like their club meetings. And Hope is with us today, and she asked if we could schedule their site and hearing meetings on Zoom also, which we've already booked onto the calendar for that. So things are really starting to pick up, and I'm very proud of a lot of the things going on. I've met with all the presidents of the club so far to find out what we can do and what we need to be looking forward to. The other thing coming up, for those that didn't make it down to Klamath this past weekend, what an outstanding garage sale and information about some of the things they do, especially their Helping Hands building that the Lions have. They make quite a bit of money. They only got $3 from me, but it was well worth it.
They got a lot of items from me.
So, but anyhow, it was very successful, and it's what we're talking about, our clubs all working together to make things happen. Zone G1 is a team, and we need to act like a team and put things together and work together to make things happen. With that, Hal keeps waving his hand. I appreciate you, Hal, for helping Hope understand what we're doing with Zoom, and thank you all for your comments.
Thank you. Okay, anything else?
But it's still, Hal has 2 things.
Yes, Hal.
Okay, the supplies are in. We're trying to set up a time where we can get as many of the clubs represented, and it's going to be either Monday the 24th, Tuesday the 24th, or Wednesday the 26th for this emergency grant. Past Governor Steve is going to come up. And so, Ken, I would like to see if you could get a representative from the clubs in Cowlitz County to also come. We'll be over at the Expo Center. And I just kind of need to figure out what day we can get the most people there. Okay? And this is basically a presentation of the supplies and for that emergency grant.
Right.
And it is Cowlitz County clubs. Just either shoot me who wants to come to an email or tell me or whatever.
We do.
Okay. And my final thing is I have a presentation to make.
Okay.
Would Mr. Dwayne Smith stand up, please? No, you don't have to stand up, Dwayne.
What is it?
I'm doing a presentation. I'm doing a physical presentation. Dear Melvin Jones Fellow Dwayne Smith, on behalf of Lions Clubs International Foundation, I congratulate you on receiving further recognition in the Melvin Jones Fellowship Program. You are already demonstrating your commitment to humanitarian service. There's just so much need out there. Your new Melvin Jones Fellowship lapel pin is enclosed. I'm putting it up here so everybody can see it. This is 2 diamonds. Wear it with pride, and because of your example, you are in a position to encourage Lions and others to join you in supporting LCIF. For my deepest gratitude for your commitment to humanitarian service through LCIF, sincerely, Gudrun Yudvadator, Chairman of the Board of Trustees. I messed up her name. So congratulations.
Who got it?
Dwayne Smith.
Dwayne Smith.
Ah. Yay, Dwayne.
Yeah.
You bet. We serve.
Yes.
You rock, dude.
Yep. All right.
So is Kurt on yet?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Kurt, if you would like to introduce our guest speaker for today.
Yes, I believe we have two guest speakers today from Cowlitz PUD. We have the Manager of Public Relations and Communications, Alice Dietz, and then we have the Director of Regulatory and Regional Affairs, Steve Taylor. And they're here to tell you what's been going on with the PUD, during the pandemic and otherwise.
Right.
I'll turn it over to Alice and Steve.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to mute everybody, so you'll have to unmute yourself.
Oh. All right, greetings. So Alice is not able to join us today, but she sends her greetings. And I'd like to say hello again to all of you. I met my first speaking engagement on behalf of the PUD was about a year ago with the Lions. So I appreciate having the opportunity to come back and give you an update here. The first thing I'd like to do, though, is I want to show you a video. It's our Clean Power portfolio that we put together for a legislative visit from our 19th and 20th district legislators last fall. And we've also been showing it to different community groups as well. Got started in this in February and meant to hit all the clubs over the last several months, and then some little thing called COVID hit us, and it kind of kept us in the office there. So I'm glad we have this technology, go-to meetings and Zooms and Microsoft Teams and all that, so we can stay in touch. And I will say this is the first day since the end of the legislative session that I've worn a tie, so that shows you my highly esteemed respect for you. So I'm going to get this transferred over here, share my screen, and then we can get rolling here.
As long as we're waiting, I'd like to share kind of a cute little story. It'll be a happy buck.
Okay.
Last weekend, we had one of our sons and family here, and the granddaughter is almost 3. She'll be 3 in September. So we have this little desk that she's sitting at, and I set her up to do some coloring. And of course, I offered to help because she wanted me to participate. Bear in mind, Ashlyn is left-handed. So she starts coloring, and I pick up, a color crayon with my right hand. And I start coloring, and she looks at me and she says, "No, do it like this." So I had to comply, of course, and color with my left hand because
oh my goodness.
She felt that was the only way to do it. So, do you think she's a little detailed? She's much like her mommy, which is very organized and detailed. But that was kind
of. You mean OCD?
OCD, maybe. I don't know. We love her.
Yeah, of course.
She's taller than Steve.
Taller than Steve? Not quite yet. It was a good weekend, though, with family. It was great. Went to the beach, played on the beach.
We had an amazing garage sale. I let go of things I didn't want to let go of.
A lot of work, though, to put on a garage sale.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When we moved to Longview in 1987, that was the last garage sale we ever held. We said, no, we're not doing that again.
I thought we'd never do one again, but we basically did it with all the free websites. And I'm going to tell you, it was Friday was constant people all day long. And Saturday was less constant. But I ended up selling one of my larger items. So
I had a garage sale a couple years back, and Skip came over and was going to give me an award for the longest garage sale ever. It went all summer long, and no one stole a thing. I kept it out there 24/7. It's like, take it. I don't care.
Okay, but, Steve, are you ready?
Cowlitz County Public Utility District, better known as Cowlitz PUD, is one of 28 public utility districts in the state of Washington. PUDs are not-for-profit, community-owned utilities. PUDs are authorized to provide electric, water, sewer, and wholesale telecommunications services that have the authority to produce and distribute renewable natural gas and renewable hydrogen. Cowlitz PUD provides electric service only. The birthplace of public power in Washington occurred in 1930 when voters established the right to form public utility districts by passing Initiative Number 1. The Washington State Grange, a populist agriculture organization, led the grassroots effort under the principles of conserving the state's water and power resources and providing for local control of water and electric utility service. Cowlitz PUD was formed shortly thereafter in 1936. PUDs are governed by locally elected commissioners that live in the communities they serve. Cowlitz PUD's commission is made up of 3 board members who each serve one of 3 designated districts in Cowlitz County. As Washingtonians, we are privileged to receive about 80% of our electricity from hydropower, which is reliable, renewable, and produces almost 0 greenhouse gas emissions. Cowlitz PUD serves its customers through a portfolio of clean, affordable electricity, and depending on annual rainfall, typically more than 90% is generated without carbon emissions. The Bonneville Power Administration, commonly known as BPA, supplies approximately 85% of the PUD's needs through a long-term wholesale power agreement. As a public preference customer, Cowlitz PUD is entitled to a portion of the Federal Columbia River Power System's hydroelectric production at cost-based rates. Due to its large industrial customer base, the PUD is currently the 3rd largest out of over 140 BPA customers in the Pacific Northwest. Bonneville markets power from 31 federally operated dams, the Columbia Generating Station nuclear plant, wind farms, and various other resources that ensure an adequate and reliable supply for its customers. Approximately 81% of BPA's electricity comes from hydropower. A little closer to home, the PUD owns the Swift No. 2 hydroelectric project on the North Fork of the Lewis River in southeast Cowlitz County. The 73-megawatt capacity project, constructed in 1956, is operated by PacifiCorp in coordination with its 3 other licensed projects on the Lewis River: Merwin, Yale, and Swift No. 1. Water released from Swift No. 1 flows west down a 3-mile canal and enters a concrete intake with 2 penstocks for a 120-foot drop into the powerhouse, which spins turbines that are connected to 2 36-megawatt generators. The electricity produced through this process is delivered to the transmission grid by way of the adjacent substation to serve customer load. The Swift project provides peak generation to support the electric system during the high-demand winter months and gives the PUD opportunities to sell surplus power into the market when prices are high to generate extra revenue that keeps customers' rates affordable. The federal operating licenses governing the Lewis River hydroelectric projects require a variety of investments in fish passage facilities and habitat restoration. With an overarching goal to reestablish migratory fish runs, Cowlitz PUD, by way of its ownership of Swift No. 2, funds these efforts through a cost-sharing agreement with PacifiCorp. The Swift downstream floating surface collector, located on the uppermost reservoir of the Lewis River project, collects juvenile salmon and steelhead, which are then hauled downstream and released in ponds where the young fish complete their migration to the ocean. The floating surface collector has 4 main parts: the fish collection barge, a guide and barrier net system, a mooring tower which anchors the collector, and an access trestle which connects the collector to the dam. Juvenile fish, the offspring of salmon and steelhead that spawn upstream, approach the floating surface collector on their way downstream through the Swift Reservoir. The collector attracts the fish in conjunction with the net system into the collection barge. The fish are collected and sorted, then transported via specially designed trucks around the dams and released downstream of the Merwin project to continue their journey to sea. At Merwin, adult fish return to the upper Lewis River with the aid of an upstream collection and transport facility. Adults are attracted to the intake facility by a pumped attraction flow and follow the current up a short fish ladder that ends in a hoist basket, which delivers them to a holding tank and sorting facility. The fish are then sorted based on their species and origin, hatchery or wild, then are loaded onto trucks and transported to the hatchery or upstream of the dams to be released and allowed to spawn naturally in the stream beds of the Lewis River and its tributaries. In 2006, Washington state voters passed Initiative 937, the Energy Independence Act, which required utilities to use non-hydroelectric renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power, to meet an increasing portion of customer load between 2012 and 2020. While Cowlitz PUD traditionally deployed a clean power portfolio nearly 90% free of greenhouse gas emissions, the PUD partnered with other public utilities to acquire eligible renewable resources that would ensure compliance with the new law. The PUD's renewable resource requirements are largely met through the energy received from 3 wind projects: White Creek and Harvest Wind, located in Klickitat County, and the Nine Canyon Wind Project in Benton County. White Creek is a 205 megawatt capacity wind farm constructed in 2007 and comprised of 89 wind turbines spread across nearly 10,000 acres near the Columbia River Gorge. Cowlitz PUD was an original partner in White Creek's development and receives 46% of the power generated by the project. The 99 megawatt Harvest Wind Project, commissioned in 2009, consists of 43 turbines across 9,500 acres and flanks the White Creek project to the east and the west. Harvest is owned by 4 consumer-owned utilities: Cowlitz PUD, Peninsula Light, Lakeview Light and Power, and the Eugene, Oregon Water and Electric Board. The PUD has a 30% ownership stake in the project. Both projects are serviced and maintained by Siemens Gamesa, the equipment manufacturer, and site operations are provided by NAES. The portion of White Creek's and Harvest Wind's projected annual output received by Cowlitz PUD provides enough electricity to meet nearly 1/2 of its renewable energy requirements in 2020. Cowlitz PUD also contracts with Energy Northwest for a 2 megawatt share of the Nine Canyon Wind Project. Working together with other public utilities, the PUD is committed to developing and maintaining a diverse supply of renewable energy resources in Washington state and reducing reliance on fossil fuel-based generation. What's ahead for Cowlitz PUD? Laws passed in Olympia in 2019 have set utilities on a path to meet 100% of the state's electric load with carbon-free resources by 2045. Achieving this goal will require a tremendous amount of planning and coordination among utilities and power suppliers alike to ensure the availability of electricity necessary to support the needs of an increasing population and growing economy. In Cowlitz County, the family wage jobs that support its economic base depend on an affordable and reliable supply of public power. As discussions continue on how best to remove fossil fuel generation from the grid, the PUD will continue to engage state leaders and advocate for a balanced approach to implementing the new clean energy standards. The PUD's current resource portfolio meets its customers' power needs with an affordable supply of clean energy that is already over 90% compliant with the state's environmental policy goals. Cowlitz PUD is proud of its clean energy legacy and over 80 years of service to Cowlitz County residents. Working with its partners in public power, the PUD will rise to meet any new challenge to serve the needs of its customers. Cowlitz PUD, your power.
So we went through a little bit of the portfolio for the PUD, and just that we were established in 1936. To date, we have 159 employees, and our employees, our most of that source, contributes about 12,000 annual volunteer hours for the community. The PUD serves 43,600 residential customers. And then when you put all of our industrial and commercial customers in place, we're just under 50,000. You can see we own and operate 2,012 miles of transmission and distribution lines. That's a lot of assets to take care of, in addition to our substations and our power generating facilities. Last year, we had 5 billion kilowatt hours of annual retail sales. That's enough to power 457,000 homes a year. You mentioned on the video that we're the 3rd largest BPA customer. Just to point out, about 70% of our overall load comes from our industrial customers along the Columbia River. Our average monthly bill is about $117 for our residential customers. And then the revenues that are paid end up generating about just about $16 million in taxes. Overall, our budget was $263 million, with $210 million of that in the cost of purchasing power and producing power. It's just a graphical representation of our power portfolio from 2018. As you can see, 66% of our portfolio that year was made up of clean hydro. You also see renewable wind was at about 6%, 2% for solar, and 8% there is our share of the Columbia Generating Station nuclear power that, again, is non-emitting, and it comes to us from Bonneville through their fuel mix. We had 17% of our purchases in 2018 had to do with purchasing from the market. So these are unspecified. Some of it may have come from fossil fuel sources, other has come from renewable sources, but because it was unspecified, we purchased it from the market. We don't know exactly what the content of that was. And our strategic plan, our mission and vision, again, our job is to provide customers safe, reliable, cost-effective, and sustainable electricity. And our vision is connecting customers and energy to power Cowlitz County's future. And from our most recent strategic plan, you can see our major initiatives that we're currently implementing, and one of the main areas that I'm involved in is the inform and engage our customers and legislators on the costs, benefits, and challenges of implementing Washington's Clean Energy Transformation Act. And again, we're advocating for reasonable energy policy solutions as we move to a clean grid. Energy efficiency and conservation is a very significant part of what we do in our power management side of the house. Just between 2018 and 2019 alone, we saved 80 million kilowatt hours. That's enough to power 7,320 homes in the Northwest. We did that by completing 2,800 conservation projects, and we exceeded our Initiative 937 targets, which in addition to requiring a certain percentage of our portfolio be met with specific renewables like wind and solar, there's also a conservation component. We set targets every 2 years that gets updated, and we've been fortunate in exceeding those targets. The vast bulk of our projects is completed through residential improvements, but the majority of the conservation itself that we've achieved comes from industrial optimization projects. And we also have a variety of customer service programs you're probably familiar with in our discussions in the past. We work closely with Lower Columbia CAP for the administration of the federal LIHEAP program, low-income home energy assistance. And then we also have our in-house senior or low-income senior, low-income disabled discount rate programs, as well as a warm neighbor program that is made up of donations from the community and from employees to help keep people from being shut off, especially in extreme weather events. And in my particular role with regulatory and regional affairs, I'm primarily working with our state and federal partners. There is a lot of new energy legislation that's been passed and adopted in the state of Washington in the last several years, and we believe there's more to come. The last time I spoke with you, we discussed the Clean Energy Transformation Act, that passage in 2019, and how we're going to be entering the rulemaking process. We've been in that process for over a year, and we still have not completed the first round of rules, but we're heavily engaged in the shaping of those rules to try to ensure reliability and ensure affordability as we have this transition to clean power. There's three key questions that we ask on in terms of our engagement, and that is, how will this public policy affect the PUD's ability to serve its customers? How will the policy benefit or impact ratepayers? And then what effects will the policy have on the local economy? And that's driven our legislative agenda over this past year, and will shape our policy advocacy moving forward. As you can see from our policy priorities, reasonable implementation of clean energy regulations. This is very complex. I can't believe how much I've learned over the past year, and I felt I knew a little bit about power, coming into this. But it is amazing how complex the world of energy is, and public power in particular. But this Clean Energy Transformation Act, it is a transformation, and we're moving to remove fossil fuel resources from Washington retail electric load. Fortunately, public power is already leaps and bounds ahead of the investor-owned utilities because of our historical reliance on hydropower that is primarily generated through BPA, but also other sources, other PUDs such as Chelan and Grant, Seattle, Tacoma, all have a strong hydro base. But as we're looking to implement the law, we've been talking to our legislators to have them hold off on passing any new clean energy legislation until we get this done and implemented properly. One of the good points of the Clean Energy Transformation Act was that before we had this conflict where hydropower is not considered renewable. So there were only certain renewables that counted, like wind and solar. And we felt that our investments that our ratepayers have covered for decades. We've been supporting carbon reduction for a very long time, and that was not counted in I-937. And so hydropower does count as a renewable, and we think that puts hydropower on a much better footing moving forward. We're still not equal in terms of tax treatment and investment in new hydro facilities, but we'll continue to be pushing for hydro parity in upcoming legislative sessions. And primarily as well, there is a strong value to Pacific Northwest hydropower in serving our public power customers, most especially just in the integration of variable renewable energy sources like wind and solar, where the wind doesn't blow exactly when you want it to and the sun doesn't shine at night. The storage capacity and the ability to operate the dams in a way that integrates the other renewables onto the grid, it's integral for our overall transition to clean power and clean grid. Another topic that's been in the newspaper and on the internet for a very long time is the issue of the Lower Snake River dams. And Cowlitz PUD has been a strong supporter of these dams, along with the entire Columbia River Systems operation. And we're pleased to see that the final environmental impact statement that was released at the end of July does identify and recognize the value that the Snake River dams bring to the overall system. Again, we're looking at 3,000 megawatts of capacity that helps us meet peak winter load. We're talking about the overall performance of the system that supports our economy in terms of the agricultural and commercial products that are delivered and shipped along the Columbia and Snake Rivers. And also with a lot of the study that has occurred over the past year or more in preparation for this EIS, we see that dams and salmon can coexist and thrive, and that we need to understand that the challenges to salmon are coming from a lot of other sources and causes than the dams on the river. And the mitigation that we have invested in to help with fish passage and fish survival, we need to ensure that that is properly valued and not discounted. You have issues such as climate change, overfishing, and other things that we're still continuing to understand in terms of future salmon survival. So we are pleased with the outcome of the final EIS. We think there's some good compromises in place, and the projections in terms of the impact to ratepayers from the some of the changes in operation. We're looking at up to about 2% increase in Bonneville's rates to pay for or to cover the loss of revenue from additional power, and then also some of the new mitigation projects that are funded in the program. We talked a little bit already about the importance of hydropower, how much that it provides carbon electricity to the Northwest. We cannot achieve 100% clean electricity without hydro. It cannot be done with wind and solar alone. And you're seeing some of the effects of this massive shifting to variable renewable generation that is not as reliable as it needs to be. You're seeing that play out a little bit in California here with the rolling blackouts that they're experiencing. Pacific Northwest enjoys rates consistently lower than most of the nation. I've talked earlier about how hydro can act like a battery and can balance the grid for the integration of those renewables. The hydropower, it enables and sustains Northwest agriculture, which is a significant portion of our Washington state economy, and also facilitates the Columbia River being the nation's #1 wheat export gateway. And it supports family wage jobs in Cowlitz County and the Pacific Northwest. Supports paper, chemical, food processing, manufacturing benefits. They all benefit from low-cost hydro, and they make up a significant portion of our family wage jobs here in our local area. So just talking about current issues with the COVID-19 response, we have been involved in significant planning to ensure the reliability of service that we're providing to our customers during the pandemic, both our residential customers and commercial industrial, and B, ensuring that our employees are protected and are able to provide the essential service that we've all come to rely upon in the form of electricity. There's been a lot of discussion at the state level regarding ratepayer assistance, and many of you know that there's a governor issued several months ago a moratorium on the suspension of utility service for people who are unable to pay their bills. A couple of items that we've been communicating to our customer base is that these balances do not go away. We are encouraging people that if they are able to pay, they need to remain current on their accounts because the balances will stay with the customers. At the same time, we've enhanced our ratepayer assistance programs, and we're also working with Cowlitz County right now to see if there's CARES Act funding that can be used to support some low-income energy assistance that can help supplement the LIHEAP programs that Lower Columbia CAP is administering, but also help us reduce the arrearages for some low-income customers. At the BPA level, we've seen a suspension of a surcharge that had been put in place due to their policies to maintain a certain level of reserves that had gone a little lower than their policy threshold. So for the remainder of 2020 and into 2021, we're looking at about $40 million worth of relief to BPA customers, and that gets divvied out in a different way for each utility depending on their load. So we'll definitely see some relief in our power costs from that, and we appreciate BPA being sensitive to the needs of our customers. And then again, I think the big energy topic of today is what's happening in California. They are, as we talk about topics like resource adequacy, there's been a lot of warnings in California in terms of their inability to meet peak load because of the reduction of fossil fuel resources. And as we make this transition to a clean grid, if you do it too early and you haven't made the proper investments in transition and transmission, when you have extreme events like this or other resources that you may think you're able to call upon in the market to help backfill resource shortages, what we saw this week is that a lot of the imported energy that California would typically have relied upon to serve that load was being used in other Western states to serve their load. And the result is you have extreme temperatures, extreme heat, and there's a loss of reliability. So I'll be interested to see how this shapes the discussion about resource adequacy moving forward. And it should really be a wake-up call for the Northwest to ensure that resource adequacy is made a priority. So thank you very much for allowing me to just give you this update on what the PUD is doing. And I'm happy, if there's still time, happy to take any questions and answer them to the best of my ability.
Yeah, we have a few minutes. Anybody have any questions? Yes. Dwayne?
Yeah, Steve Taylor, I was looking at the web page for the PUD, and I see that you have quite a few rebates for customers like me. And I might read them off, and then I have a question. Replacement windows, $3 a square foot. I got in on that many years ago. That helped a lot. Energy Star insulated exterior doors, $40 a unit. Insulation, 65 cents to $1 a square foot. I got in on that one many years ago. Ductless heat pump, $800. I didn't get in on that one. I'm looking at replacing my heat pump, but it won't be a ductless one. Next item is duct sealing, $200 to $250. Smart thermostats, $100 to $125. Clothes dryer, $50. Clothes washer, $30. Heat pump water heater, $500. Low income insulation, $1 a square foot. Low income replacement windows, owner occupied, up to $20 a square foot. Low income replacement windows, tenant occupied, up to $15 a square foot. Low income replacement uninsulated exterior doors, up to $400 each. And manufactured houses, $1,200 to $2,500. Are you familiar with the PUD's rebates program, Steve?
Oh, no, absolutely. And we have some outstanding individuals in our conservation energy efficiency division. And they work directly with customers. They determine, what level of rebates, depending on if you're low income, you can tap into some additional resources as well. And then for, the average homeowner or business, we do energy audits. We determine we are incentivized in terms of having to meet these targets within our conservation potential assessment. That we need to reduce or increase energy efficiency and reduce consumption where we can. What I really like about the low income conservation or the energy efficiency side of it is that we're killing two birds with one stone. We're reducing the household energy burden for those households that have the highest burden, the least ability to pay, and then at the same time we're also meeting our conservation targets, which reduces the need to acquire new resources either on the market or by having new resources be built. We'll get you involved in the next video that you can help us with our marketing there. I thought you did a pretty good job a couple minutes ago at talking about all those rebates.
Hey, any other questions? Let's see.
Another question, is the PUD currently doing anything for incentives for solar roof panels for us residential people?
I am not 100% familiar with what we have available for solar panels. I believe there are certain rebates involved or certain tax credits that are involved. I'm not as familiar with the specific incentive that we would provide versus what how you would deal with it on your taxes, what rebates you'd have to put in place. But I would encourage you to contact our energy efficiency division, and we can get you all the information that you need for your own specific house or situation.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Let's see. I'm going to quickly here. All right, I don't see any other questions. So Steve Taylor, I'd like to say thank you very much.
Sure.
Pioneer Lions, appreciate you taking your time for today.
I appreciate the audience. Thank you very much. Thanks for the claps. Appreciate it. All right, and stay safe. And again, we're here to help. Oh gosh, Alice would kill me if I didn't talk about our Eat for Heat, which is coming up September 11th. There's a great ad in the Columbia River Reader, but we're doing these meal kits this year because of the pandemic. But you can order tickets to come pick up a meal kit for two, put together by some of the finest chefs in our area. But yeah, just go to our homepage at cowlitzpud.org and click on the Eat for Heat link there, and all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, go towards our Warm Neighbor program, which is helping to keep our low income and folks in need, our customers, be connected with power.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Okay, I'll repeat some of the announcements. Board meeting on the 27th at noon. Lloyd will probably get in touch with you for working Friday or Saturday. Gina would like to have a awards committee meeting afterward. So if you're on the awards committee, stay connected. And that's all that I have. Well, and then Hal's gonna. Oh, Greg.
Yeah. See how many people want to go to this presentation. I need to know.
Okay. Greg?
Yes, I'd like to say happy birthday to Darlene, a couple days late.
Woohoo!
I don't see Lloyd on here today. Lloyd's birthday is Thursday, and he'll be as old as Hal Palmer.
Oh, no, he can't be that old. Are we all going to sing?
Oh.
Gotta unmute yourself if you're going to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
You guys are sick. Happy birthday.
To you.
Oh,
President Darling.
Got balloon.
Hey, Bob, can we get an update on Donna?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need to unmute.
Unmute yourself.
That it?
Yeah.
Yep.
She has her good days and bad days. There's still a lot of swelling and bruising. She's bruised all the way up her hip and all the way around her leg. I don't know how it got that beat up, but it did. She's having a little trouble with mobility and doing the exercises. She's doing what she can. And I'm keeping her pretty much fed and on schedule with her meds. So we've got a doctor's appointment coming up Friday. We'll see where we're at and see if he's got some suggestions on.
Here are the suggestions. Do more exercises. Been there, done that. That's all they say, right, Cindy?
Right.
Yeah.
Do more exercises.
Even if it hurts.
Even if it, especially if it hurts.
Especially if it hurts.
Cindy, you're doing okay, aren't you?
No pain, no gain.
If it doesn't hurt, you're not doing right.
Yeah. The more you move around, the sooner it'll go away. So.
Yeah.
So.
But keep it elevated in the meantime. Keep it, put a pillow, sit on the couch and put a pillow under your leg. Stay there. Don't get up.
Yeah.
And ice. Lots of ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to end this meeting, adjourn this meeting, and people that are on the awards committee, please stay connected, and Gina will run the awards for you.